Hello, my name is Ray Cook. I'm going to be testing bowstrings today. Last year Colin Miller sent me some bowstrings to do some testing because I was curious about these skinny bowstrings, high performance bowstrings that I was seeing some people talk about on the internet, and I was curious to see if there was much of a difference in performance gains out of my setup. I'm currently shooting a Master Recurve, which draws 69 pounds at 29.5 inches. I shoot Easton Axis 300 arrows. They weigh about 582 grains, about 30 3/8 inches long. My point weight is 196 grains, which is the same thing I use for field points, broadheads. They all weigh the same. Which gives me a FOC of about 17%. I've been really happy with these Easton Axis arrows. I like skinny arrows because I believe, based on my experience, that the skinnier arrows have a tendency to penetrate easier when I bow hunt. And I've also footed these with 2016 aluminum arrows, which makes these arrows almost indestructible. When I'm out stumping or rabbit hunting and happen to hit a rock. I rarely ever break one anymore. I know these big Sanders blunts also absorb a lot of the shock, but I've used these before on other arrows, and I've mushroomed the carbon arrow before. But now, like I said, I rarely ever damage an arrow. So this first bowstring we're going to be testing, or I'm going to be testing, is a bowstring made by Rick Barbie from Barbie Archery. It is a 3-bundle Flemish string. It's 12 strands of rhino, and he sells his strings for about $30 a piece. You can Google his company and read up more about him and his strings, and go from there. $198. $200. $200. So the average for Rick Barbie string is 199 feet per second. Alright, so this next string we've got is a string made by Colin Miller from Arcos Mountain Looms. It is a Flemish twist 2-bundle string, 12 strands of rhino. $195. $196. 197. Alright, so the next string I have here is another string made by Colin. It is a Flemish twist bowstring, 2-bundle. It is 20 strands of 8190. $195. $194. $196. Alright, this next string is another string made by Colin. It is an endless loop this time, and it is a 14 strand string made out of rhino. $195. $196. $197. Okay, this next string I have here is another string made by Colin. It is an endless loop made out of 16 strands of 8125. $198. $198. $198. Alright, next string here is another string made by Colin. It is another endless loop. We got a 16 strands out of XS2. $197. 196. $197. Alright, the next string I have here is another string made by Colin. It is an endless loop, 20 strands of 8190. $195. $197. $197. Okay, the last bowstring I've got here is a string made by SBD, Silent But Deadly Bowstrings, Pierre and Jean-Pierre Lucas. It is a 10-strand string made out of BCY, and I'm pretty sure it's a Flemish twist. Appears to be a 2-bundle, and this string's a little bit more unique than the other ones, that it just has these recurve wraps built into the string. Looks like it's just some type of yarn, which is supposed to help kind of pad the string and the limbs when they come together. And yeah, so let's see what this does. $195. I don't know if you guys could hear it on the video, but to me, that was the first string that sounded noticeably different, and which makes sense because of the padding here on the bowstring. $196. Now, I'm not the greatest judge of sound and frequencies and stuff like that, since I've been a drummer all my life, so I know my hearing's been affected a little bit. $195. Okay, I wanted to try one more thing to make a fair test. I placed some Velcro along the recurved limbs themselves, basically where the string groove is. If you can see here, it's not all the way up, and it's just past a little part of where the string makes contact with the limb. And wanted to see how the sound compares to the SBD string, see if there's a big difference, see if there's any change in speed either way. and yeah, we'll see what happens. $198. And by the way, this is the Recurve string. $200. $199. So we got an average of $199, which I believe is the same with or without the padding on the limbs. There was, to me, a noticeable difference in sound compared to when I shot the string before without the pads on the limbs. I can't say for sure without shooting them side by side, the SBD string and this string with the pads on it, how big of a difference it would be. I'll have to listen when I watch the video to see if I can hear much of a difference, if there's a noticeable difference. But it definitely did make a difference putting these on here. It didn't sound quite as guitar stringy. So that's about it for the test. Overall, very good strings by all three makers. Not a huge difference in speed, but I think the biggest gap was 5 feet per second, and if you're trying to squeeze out every last feet per second, I suppose that would make a difference. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope you can put some of it to use. Thanks.